Yet another big company has rebranded in 2025. What is happening out there? What is going on? This time it is the potato chip Goliath, Lay's, and they have, for the first time in almost 6 years, rebranded. And it's not a huge, massive rebrand, but it's probably more of a brand refresh. But let's break it down, dive right in, and look at what Lay's has done. And I think this is really interesting because I think brands are probably a little bit more subtle and maybe a little bit more laid back with how they're announcing these rebrands. They're a little bit more skittish maybe after what happened with everyone's favorite rebrand of 2025, which was Cracker Barrel. Now brands, I feel like they're like almost going behind the scenes. Like some rebrands are happening overseas first, testing it out, and then they're gonna bring it to America. But Lay's has done this, and I actually think this is something they are trying out globally, but this is it. This is what they're rolling with. Here's a really interesting stat. Here's what Lay's did. They went out and they did some research, and they found out that 42% of consumers did not know, or I should say 42% of consumers knew that Lay's chips were made from potatoes. That's 58% of consumers did not know that Lay's potato chips were made out of potatoes. That's shocking to me, but that is a fantastic insight that they went out and got from their consumers. Thus, they have come up with a new logo that is full of potatoes. Now this one right here, this is the new logo versus the old logo. Where's the potato? I don't know, but let's look and see what they're doing with the rest of their brand, their packaging and everything like that. And you'll see that they're integrating more of these potato ideas into what they're doing. So first and foremost, this is kind of the brand ethos now visually. You've got these rays of light, if you will, coming off of that yellow circle. I guess some people thought the yellow circle was supposed to be a potato. It's actually supposed to be a sunshine and sun rays. And what's cool is, I'll show you this on this view, these rays are actually made from dipping actual potato slices in paint and pressing them down, stamping them down, and then obviously digitizing them. But the designers on this project actually took potatoes or potato wedges and used that to create these rays, which I think is cool. It's like everything's potatoes. But let's look at the rebrand. Let's break it down. So photography over iconography. Every flavor now features real photography. So there's this shift from perceived fakeness or perceived, factory made, not healthy potato chips. And now what Lay's is trying to do is they're trying to say, hey, our chips are made from real potatoes, guys. You should want to eat them because they're made from is a potato a vegetable? I don't know. They're made from real starch, you guys. And their new brand is really kind of this realness. Like it has this realness to it. And so I think it's cool when as a designer or a product designer or a brand designer, you are able to say, what's the goal here? What do we want to communicate? We want to communicate that this is real food. This is made from real potatoes. So we're going to show those real potatoes, show those real potato chips, show those real things happening out in the world that we're basing our products on. And then there's refreshing simplification that comes with a rebrand like this. Lay's, as you know, you've seen it in the stores, you've probably had bags in your house. There was this like gradient thing and drop shadow, and it was kind of this like over the top bright thing. Now it's a little bit more laid back, it's more simple, it's more flat. And from a logo standpoint and a brand standpoint, that is a good thing. When you simplify, when you take a gradient and you just flatten it out and it still works, that is good logo design, as simple as you can. Now, you could make the case, well, this is not a very simple logo. I think the Lay's in general is simple, but then you have those kind of light rays or sun rays behind it. It's a step in the right direction, going from a gradient to a solar sun ray thing like that. I think that is a step in the right direction. And then there's depth. I already mentioned this. The designers use real potato slices dipped in ink for rays. Like, you're probably not gonna walk around the store thinking that, but there's depth behind it for the team that did this and for the leadership team who had to sign off on that. And I think that's really cool. I think there's subtle things in there that harken back to the roots of the brand. No pun intended. I think potatoes have roots, right? Finally, this rebrand was based on a lot of research. The team conducted extensive global retail tests, and that is a huge component of any big rebrand like this, whether you're a massive snack company. I think this is owned by PepsiCo, which, by the way, PepsiCo saw a little stock bump in the right direction when they announced this rebrand. And that's always a good sign. You know, not everybody has to lose $100 million on a rebrand. Am I right? Cracker Barrel. But research is key in any rebrand project, right? You shouldn't rebrand in a vacuum. You shouldn't say, okay, managing partner, okay, CEO, your favorite color is blue, so we're gonna make it blue. No, go do some research. How does the world perceive you as a brand? How does your team perceive you as a brand? How do you perceive yourself as a brand? So go out and conduct extensive global retail tests, or maybe it's just extensive research with your current client base or legacy clients or whatever it is. You need to be doing research. These are big, big decisions. It's not just a new logo. It's going to be a massive rollout plan. It's going to be you're changing the signage on your building. You're changing the decals on your trucks. You're changing every single thing on your packaging for your product. Big deal. So go do the research, and Lay's did the research, and they found out that only 42% of consumers knew that their potato chips were made out of potatoes. That's insane. So here's a little preview of what some of the different packaging looks like. Again, I think Lay's is trying to get away from this, like we're a product company that produces terrible for you, unhealthy food, to a product company that is creating things made from real potatoes. And you can see the shift. Like, this looks like a healthy chip company. And I think a lot of food companies are starting to do this, where they're going away from the shiny foil bags to more of this like sustainable looking matte finishes on their stuff. Whether it's probably not changing their product, but when you have 58%, the majority of your consumer base, that thinks you're just creating food out of weird stuff instead of actual potatoes, that's a problem. So I do like the look of these. I think they're really nice. I think they're, if they're going for more of a, hey, we're more of a healthy option than you think, and our stuff is real, this is great. I think it's really cool. I like the real potatoes. I like the real potato chips. You got the real lime in there. You got the real dip, the sushi. You've got the peppers going on there. So I think that's good. I think this is a win for Lay's. I think it's a step in the right direction. They've kept enough of the legacy brand in there to where you're not going to look at it and think, what is that? I've not seen that brand before. It's still got the Lay's. It's still got the swoosh. It's still got kind of that chip thing going on with the red. And I think it's a step in the right direction. I give it a win. I'm going to say this is a win, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Get your comments in below. I'd love to know what you think of the Lay's rebrand.